Hey guys, welcome to day 2 of online learning. So today's math lesson is going to be lesson 79, and we are going to be discussing the area and perimeter of a triangle. So if you would like to take notes, feel free. However, since this is different and it's online, you don't have to take notes, but I'm going to continue to do so. So lesson 79. And it is on page 408, and the topic is area and perimeter of a triangle. So area and perimeter of a triangle is similar to how we did area and perimeter of a parallelogram. So we are going to be using base and height and then the sides, just like we did for a parallelogram. So first off, let's write the formula for area. So to get area of a triangle, we take the fraction 1/2, and that fraction never changes, it's always 1/2, and we multiply it by base and then by the height. So again, that B stands for base and the H stands for height. And because it's area, we need to make sure that we include the correct label, so it would be the label that it gives you plus the little 2 to represent square. So I just write right here, don't forget to write square units. So let's just do an example for area before we go to perimeter. Okay, so let's just pretend that we have a picture like this, and if you remember from the parallelogram lesson, the dotted line is always going to represent the height. The bottom number is always going to represent the base. And then the number that's left behind is just going to represent a side measurement. So for area, we are going to be using the height number and the base number. We are not going to do anything with this side number. So let's go ahead and put this to use. So to get the area of this triangle, we are going to do 1/2 times base, and the base number is 8, times height, and the height number is 4. So that's our base, and that's our height. Now what I would suggest doing is multiplying the 2 whole numbers first and then multiplying that answer by 1/2, or you can think of it as you're dividing it by 2. So 2 times 4, or I'm sorry, 8 times 4 would be 32. And then if we cut 32 in half, which means dividing it by 2, or you can think of it as multiplying by 1/2, so we can set it up 2 different ways. These both mean the same exact thing. So however you want to think about it is fine. But either way we do, we are going to get 16 as our answer. So our area is 16 centimeters square. And notice how I did not use that 5 right here at all. I only use the height measurement and the base measurement. Now let's look at perimeter, and we'll use the same triangle. So perimeter, we are just going to add up all 3 sides. Now this is where it can be a little confusing just because right here, one of the sides is labeled the base. However, when we're getting perimeter, that base now turns into a side measurement. And if y'all would just bear with me just for a second while I get organized here. So let's use this triangle instead. And this information will be given to you. So let's just say that this shorter side is 3 inches. And let's say that this bottom measurement is going to be, we'll say 8 inches. And let's say that this top measurement up here is going to be 6 inches. And just for argument's sake, let's go ahead and put a height measurement in there. And we'll just say the height measurement is going to be 4 inches. Okay, so now let's actually label what these numbers represent. Okay, so again, this 3 inches is just a side measurement. The 6 inches is just another side measurement. And that 8, we can consider that to be a base or a side measurement. And because I'm getting perimeter, I'm just going to consider it to be a side. Now that 4 inches though is height. So that means that I am not going to actually be using that 4. So to get perimeter, I'm going to add up all the sides. I'm going to add up 6 plus 8 plus 3. And once I get that answer, then I will have my perimeter. So 8 plus 3 is 11. And then 11 plus 6 would be 17. So our perimeter is going to be 7 inches. And because it's perimeter, I am not going to put my little 2 up there. So it's just 17 inches is my answer. Now I can do one more example. So if you feel like you're comfortable at this point, then feel free to stop the video now. But if you still need more explanation, just continue watching. So this next one, let's do a triangle that looks like this. So again, this bottom measurement is the base. And then these other two measurements are the sides. And then this center measurement where the dotted line is the height. So to get area, remember, we are only going to look at the base measurement and the height measurement. So 1/2 times 14 times 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 14 and the 10. So 14 times 10 equals 140. And then remember, the next step I can look at is I can either think of it as 140 divided by 2, or I can think of it as 140 times 1/2. And once I do that, then my answer is going to be 70. And then, of course, my label would be centimeters square because it's asking me for area. And then if I want to get perimeter, I can use that same triangle. So perimeter, I'm going to take all the sides, and remember that base is now considered to be a side. The only number that I'm not using is the height number. So I'm going to add 12 plus 12 plus 14. So 12 plus 12 is 24, and then 24 plus 14 would be 38. And my label for that, because it's asking me for perimeter, is just centimeters. And those are my answers. So the end results, just keep in mind that the dotted lines represent the heights, and then the bottom measurement always represents the base. And I think that's it for today. So again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.